Welcome to Bipolar Boxing Picks. My name's Nick. We're going to do some quick UFC picks for UFC 238 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I'm just going to do the quick breakdown of the main card. Start from bottom to top. We got Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. Very intriguing fight. I like a lot of the Brazilians on this card. This card is a very good card top to bottom. I like a lot of the Brazilians early. This is another one where it's kind of a toss-up, but I'm going to go with Johnny Walker because he's fighting in Brazil. Why I say that is if this fight were anywhere else, I might pick Paul Craig by submission because I think that even if Johnny Walker hurts him on the feet, if Johnny Walker goes anywhere near him on the ground, Paul Walker will catch his arm or catch a triangle. And I do believe that Johnny Walker, his fight IQ, he's shown such low IQ at times. I think he could get caught in a submission. But I think this fight being here in Brazil, he definitely wants to get a win. He wants to get an impressive win. And to be honest, this is going one or two ways. Paul Craig's getting a submission probably early, or Johnny Walker's getting a knockout probably early. But I see the latter happening. I see Johnny Walker getting a knockout, and I don't see him being stupid. If he knocks him down and Paul Craig does that stuff where even if he gets hit in a jab, he kind of slips to the ground, tries to pull him down into his guard, I don't think Johnny Walker will go there. He's going to stay up the whole time. And if this fight were to go to a decision, I don't see how Paul Craig's winning any rounds unless he's on top of Johnny Walker somehow. But other than that, I just think Johnny Walker is going to get him out of there, and I think he gets him out of there early. I'm going to say Johnny Walker, first round KO. Next fight, we got Jessica Andrade versus Lauren Murphy. Just kind of a fight like there's levels to this, and Jessica Andrade is on a different level than Lauren Murphy. She's way more athletic than her. She's very quick and just very, very powerful. I don't see Lauren Murphy hanging around, even though she's very durable in most fights. I don't see her hanging around for very long against Andrade. I think Jessica Andrade gets her out of there, I would say the second round, and I think it's going to be bad. I think Lauren Murphy gets beat up bad. I see her against the octagon in the first round for a lot of the fight, and I see Andrade hammering her with shots. And I think the first round could even be like a 10-8 round, and Andrade's going to dominate so bad on the feet. But at will, I believe she could take this fight to the ground anytime she wants. She could do whatever she wants to Lauren Murphy. But Jessica Andrade will win this fight and should be inside the distance. Like I said, we'll go with a second round KO. Next fight is going to be Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. Gilbert Burns is probably a tier above Neil Magny. Neil Magny's a good fighter. He goes to a lot of decisions, which that could bode well in this fight because if he goes to a decision against Burns, he could steal one here because I believe Burns, the two most likely things to happen in this fight are a Burns KO and a Burns submission, I would imagine. Especially betting-wise, if you bet props or whatever, those are probably the two most likely things to happen betting-wise. And it just makes sense. Burns is either going to knock Magny out or he's going to submit him. But if this fight, like if you're looking for hedging plays, I would just bet that this fight goes the distance. If you like, I like Burns. I'm going to say he gets a submission in the second or third round. But if you're looking for a hedge play, I would just say hedge the fight to go over, or Magny by decision might be a long shot, but I think it's worth it in this fight because Magny's a hard guy to finish, and he's very technical on his feet. I don't think if this fight somehow stays standing and Burns cannot get him down, I think Magny wins this fight by decision. But Neil Magny's, I don't believe his takedown defense is that good. I think Burns is going to take him down pretty easy. But like I said, if for some reason the fight stays standing, I do like Neil Magny to win that decision. So hedge that. But go with Burns by stoppage, I would say. I don't know if it's going to be KO or submission, but we'll say submission, second round. Next fight, you got Davidson Figueroa versus Brandon Moreno for the fourth time. I picked Davidson Figueroa the first three times, so I'm going to take him in the fourth time. I like his style matchup. I mean, they're so close. There's a lot of fighters in that division that are very close skill wise and everything, and it makes for really good fights in that division. Brandon Moreno, I know he was the champ and everything, but like he didn't just run through that division. I mean, there was guys like I want to say like Dustin Ortiz had a really tough fight against him, and I think I might have scored that for Dustin Ortiz. And that was years ago, but just like ever since then, Moreno, that's just kind of how he's been. But the thing is, he's not. I know he just barely beat Dustin Ortiz, but he's just barely beaten guys like Davidson Figueroa. So he's doing it at the top level too. It's working for him. Like sometimes I worry about fighters like Brandon Moreno. It's like, yeah, he did it down there. He squeezed by, but it won't work at the top level. It's working for him up here, and sometimes he can just outwill you on his way to a win. But I just see Figueroa's a better athlete. I think the last performance was his most dominant out of all three. So I just think that carries over. And the main reason why I would take him in this fight is because it's in Brazil. So close fight. Close fight. I see him winning 3 rounds to 2. But even if it's two rounds, if there's 2 rounds to 2 and there's a close round in there, fights in Brazil, it's gonna go his way. So I think it's a little bit of an advantage, especially betting wise, is like just ride that hometown guy in a close fight like this. It's hard to bet against Brandon Moreno because he's dangerous all the way through the fight too. So it's not a fun fight to watch when you bet against this guy. But I'm gonna stick with Figueroa. I just say 3 rounds to 2, 5 round decision. And the main event, Jameel Hill versus Glover Teixeira. I like Hill to win this fight, just based on his athleticism. He's so much younger than Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira is a beast, but I don't think this fight gets to the ground too often. I don't think it gets to the ground maybe at all because I see Jameel Hill knocking him out within the first 2 rounds, maybe even the first round. Maybe as soon as he touches him, I think he can get Glover out of there early. I just think he's that much better of an athlete. Now I know some people could just say like, "Oh, you struggled against Thiago Santos." Like it's just different styles. I like him against Glover's style. The only thing I'll say here is like he will be screwed if Glover gets on top of him. He ain't getting up like he got up. I think that's like Santos was taking him down in that fight, and I'm like, Thiago Santos don't take nobody down. So for him to take down Jameel Hill, it makes me think a little bit. But I think there'd be such a dominant performance on the feet, and Jameel Hill's here to make a statement. I think like this is his time to shine. He's getting Glover at the perfect time. People could say like Glover he looks so good against Yuri Prochazka. Like Jamal Hill's not Yuri Prochazka and do that MMA math. I'm just not looking into that. I'm not looking into any of that. I'm not going to compare Jameel Hill to Yuri Prochazka. They're two different fighters, but I just think Jameel Hill is going to catch him early, just like Prochazka caught him early. But I think Jameel Hill gets him out of there. And people, you could also look at it as like Glover went through hell in that fight. That might have taken a lot out of a 42 through 43-year-old man. So I like Jameel Hill. I like him, like I said, first or second round knockout. Other than that, I think he dominates the fight. Like I don't see him if Glover gets on top of him with like 3 minutes to go in a round, Jameel Hill could be done. I think Glover could submit him very easy if he gets on top of him somehow. I just don't see that happening. I see Jameel landing early, hurting him early, and goes to decision. I think it's Jameel Hill all 5 rounds. But I think he'll get an early knockout. The only thing is, like I said, somehow Glover gets on top of him. If he's got time, I think he finishes Hill early. But I'm gonna go Hill. I'm gonna go with first round knockout. First round knockout over Glover Teixeira, and we'll see where that 205 division goes. All right, guys, have a good night.